Want to have a great vacation? Just do the opposite of everything they say. Our savings starts tomorrow with Jen and John.
The world's longest commercial flight.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think it is? We're talking, you're up there, you're hanging out on Delta, or this is actually a Qantas flight.
I don't know, like 17 hours.
Oh, no. Almost double. The world's longest commercial flight took over 30 hours.
Ugh, what? How
called-
is that even possible?
It was called the Double Sunrise service by Qantas Air, and it ran from Australia to Sri Lanka. This was in 1943 to 1945.
Okay.
Planes were slower then, I think. I believe it was like a
Do they not do that flight path anymore?
No, but the reason why I want... Do you know why it was called a double sunrise?
Because you saw the sunrise twice.
Yes, that's exactly why. Yes.
Gold stars for Jen.
Today, the longest commercial flight is from Singapore, on actually Singapore Airlines, to New York, which is, like you said, 17 hours.
Oh, okay.
So in a way,
Yeah.
you are right. And in another way, you're very wrong.
Okay.
Welcome to Our Savings. Starts tomorrow. My name is John. My wife, Jen, sits next to me. We stare into each other's loving eyes. Why do you laugh like that? Why do you mock our love?
No, I don't.
And we share travel stories. We are the podcast the Travel Network wishes they had.
Right.
But we would sell out to them for very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly. Just
pretty much nothing.
Just pay off some of our credit card debt. That's all we're asking you for. Okay, so I told you the world's longest commercial flight.
Mm-hmm.
The shortest commercial flight.
10 minutes.
50 seconds. Actually, 1.5 minutes usually, but they have done it in less than 50 seconds.
What's the point?
It's from one of the Scotland Islands. And if you missed last week, we actually talked all about Scotland in our podcast. You can go back and listen to it. But yeah, from one island to another, it's like what's the point? Well, you got to do that or take a ferry.
Yeah.
Why not do a flight? How long is the pre-flight checklist?
I know. I feel like you're just like going through security and boarding and like all that stuff for.
Maybe they make it easier. Maybe it's not such a process. Although, when you go to Hawaii and you're flying from island to island, it's a process.
Yeah.
Like we got there early.
Yep.
We sat around, in that Maui airport.
Yep.
It's not great.
No.
There's nothing ever open.
No.
And then you get on the plane. They do the whole pre-flight checklist. They have to because,
Plus, like
safety.
the boarding, that takes forever.
Yeah.
And the pre-flight checklist. And
then you get on the airplane. And it's 22 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that. It doesn't even get up in the sky.
I know.
The waves almost hit the wheels.
Yeah.
As you fly across.
It's like drink service is pointless.
They just throw water at you.
Do they do drink service in a minute?
Flight? It's Scotland, yeah. So they give you a shot as you get on.
Oh, that's smart.
Isn't that nice of them?
Oh, yeah.
That's so sweet. Fair warning for today's podcast. One thing, we're battling a cold, and Jen has taken a bunch of Mucinex, so she is fired up and wired up, ready to go. She's cleaning, grinding her teeth, and doing a podcast all at the same time.
I told you earlier, I'm like, I don't know how I'm so like wound up and yet also tired at the same time.
In one ear is this podcast, and the other Metallica. Like that's what's happening.
Like I could go outside and smoke a cigarette right now, and I don't smoke.
Or punch a person in the face. I, on the other hand, this is week number 2 of a new diet or lifestyle change, as they like, because that makes us feel better about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I am hungry.
Hangry.
I am hangry.
Yeah.
I can barely focus on this because all I can think about is when is my next meal.
Yes.
And how much do I get to eat. I gained a little weight in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And now you're starving me.
You're like, please give me a carb. Please give me any sort of sugar.
I snuck a Tic Tac today, and it was the most glorious moment of my day. All right, today we're going to talk about things you should decide before traveling, and we're going to get there. But first, your crazy Reddit travel story. While camping, I hung my food up in a tree to keep it from bears.
Ugh.
As you know, that's what you do.
I feel like already I'm not liking this story.
But I slept under it.
Why?
You're a dummy. I woke up with a bear straddling me, trying to reach the food. Fortunately, it was a tall bear, and it reached the food and didn't resort to me, but I did get older and wiser.
What an idiot.
I'll be honest.
Like, I don't camp at all, but I can guarantee you
Mm-hmm.
I would know not to do that.
You don't hide under the food. If you're smart enough to put the food up,
Right? Like, first of all, I probably wouldn't be smart enough to do that.
you just keep it in your tent.
I would just keep it not in the tent, but like
Okay.
outside in
Yeah.
a cooler.
Yeah. No, you put it up in the tree. I used to do bear bags.
Really?
Yeah. And then what you do is you
Where
camp
are you
away
camping
from
that you
the
need to do that?
scary places where there were bears.
I feel like you don't need to do that at a KOA.
No, we do glamping. We're gonna be okay. They have
Yeah.
bear traps, I think,
Yes.
so we'll be fine. All right, today things you should decide before traveling. So these are a list I found of questions you need to ask yourself or your partner before you travel, so you're on the same page.
Okay,
Many
this will be
times
interesting.
While we travel, we're not on the same page.
I know. We're on the same page about a lot of things.
But every once, like for example, I'd be like, "Hey, let's hang a bear bag," and you'd be like, "Nah, we have a cooler."
Yeah.
In
And be like,
fact,
nah, let's
yeah.
stay at a hotel.
So, yeah, that's true. First thing you have to decide, do you check your luggage or do you carry on? Yeah,
This is a big debate.
and we go back and forth on it
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
I will tell you that I was looking this up. Southwest is pretty much the only major U.S. airline still offering free checked baggage. I didn't know if like others kind of came back to it.
Free checked bag? Yeah, free checked
Yeah.
bag. Okay, that makes
Now,
sense.
we get one because we have the Delta credit card or whatever.
Yeah,
They charge
yeah.
us like $600 for a year, and we're like, hey, we saved money.
Yes.
Even though it'd be cheaper for us just to pay for the check luggage. Yeah. But either way,
Yeah, whatever. Don't get into that right now. Take
Some-
that offline.
sometimes we're like, oh, it's so much easier to just check the bags, and we're not lugging it around the airport. And
It's very interesting. I have some friends who travel quite often,
Mm-hmm.
and they are like anti check bag.
yeah,
And we've traveled with them before. And let me tell you, it is very, very stressful to travel with those kind of people because I, like, especially if we're going for a week, I'm kind of like, whatever, just check the bag.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
check it. I don't want to be schlepping my bag through, like, an airport or even like the if we have a layover and like if it's a 2 hour or 3 hour I don't want my bag with me. Just if it's gonna get lost, everything's getting lost. As long as I have my credit card with me and a phone.
That's why I
We're
always
good.
I have my backpack.
Yeah.
I keep in it our money, my phone, and an extra pair of underwear.
I don't know why you do that, but
You never know.
but I'm just like I like being able to like just
Bag free.
yes, be bag free.
Yeah.
I really do. Now, if we're going for like a weekend, I don't want the hassle of waiting for the bag. I guess that's the big thing, right? Like no one wants to wait for their bag. But you know what? Because no one is doing it. We're
Yeah,
not
not
waiting
waiting.
very long.
In fact, by the time we get off the plane, we go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because you always have to go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah.
Maybe get a Starbucks because
Yeah,
we're
that's who we are.
parched.
And then we get to the luggage. Half the time, it's there already.
I know.
It's not like we're really waiting a long time.
I know.
I never feel that way, and it's pretty easy to check it. It's never that long of a line.
I know. I don't understand why people hate the checking
I don't
of the
know.
bag.
We're trained to. All right. What's the one thing you need for an overnight flight? So if we're packing and we know we're going to be flying, either maybe the red eye.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one thing that you bring?
Oh, like a sleep aid of
Sleep
some
aid
kind.
would be the one thing for
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Like a melatonin, like nothing too crazy. If you've listened to our London podcast,
Jen took a pill that someone gave her that she barely knew.
I knew
At
the
work.
person,
He
but
was
I
like,
didn't know the pill. And you know what's so funny is he's listened to that podcast and he knows that it's him and he's like, you're an idiot. I have no idea what I gave you. I'm like, oh, cool.
We
Thanks.
took off to fly to London. You had it with wine. You didn't even have it alone. You like had a bottle of wine.
That's how much I trusted this individual, and clearly that was a
And let me
mistake.
tell you, it was like she had dinner, had the wine, had the pill, and it was like that was it. And then you were out, and you slept great.
I did sleep great,
Yeah.
but I woke up very groggy, and so that made it difficult. But maybe like a melatonin of something to just kind of like
They don't
take
knock
the
me out
edge
enough.
off.
You know me. I don't like nothing that's gonna. I want to be alert as the
Mm-hmm.
plane goes down.
I don't like the neck pillow things.
What a waste of a purchase. And we bought one for everyone in this family. And
Well, because the kids are always like, we need a neck pillow. I'm like, never have used it.
they
They wear it around the house.
they're not comfortable.
No.
They don't like. I'm not like. Oh, this is as good as home.
No.
Like, it doesn't work at all.
No.
You know what they used to have in the in-flight magazine that I liked?
Oh, that blow up thing that went on your
Yes.
on your tray table.
Yeah.
I would love to know if someone's actually seen someone use that.
I've never once seen it live and in person, but I'd like to.
How do they blow it up?
I thought it was already foam. Or if not, you just sit there the first part of the flight and
and then you just pass out
you're
because you have like no oxygen. I was gonna say maybe not like a blanket, but maybe
A shawl.
like a pashmina or something.
Sure, I know what that means.
Like something like overnight flights are cold. And even in first class, sometimes they don't have blankets for you.
Nowadays they don't. What about the eye mask?
I mean,
everyone's like screens on these days. Like,
yeah, no, that's probably a good one.
we've never done it.
I've
but
never
I'm just
done
thinking
it.
about Or earplugs?
Oh.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I put my like AirPods on. And it's kind of the same
Yeah,
thing.
they kind of drown them out. All right, next question. Do you pull out cash for traveling in 2022?
Yes, we don't always, but I always regret it.
And in fact, we just went to Moab, and we'll be doing an episode on that. And we didn't pull out cash because we weren't flying.
Yes.
I honestly, I think
Well, we were like, why do we need to pull out cash? Like, we're just going like 4 hours away.
But then we realized we needed tip money for some things.
And we had no cash.
Yeah.
And I could not, you know what? We went up and down that main street. I don't think I ever saw an ATM.
No, me neither. I know. But also, I'm like, if nowadays, instead of a tip jar, give me your Venmo. There was a guy busking on the side of the street
Yes.
with his guitar. And guess what? He had a Venmo.
You know what? If the maid service actually did leave their Venmo, I
would
would have
help more.
Venmoed them every day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If they had something like that.
I
Because
don't
you know
know
what they
how
get
they
at
would
the end
do
of the
that.
trip?
Your change.
Whatever's left in my pocket.
I know, that's really sad. I'm so
terrible.
sorry,
Yeah.
maids out there.
You got to fix that.
I know. But yes, you should get cash because you never know when you're going to need to tip someone.
I don't know. We pull out too much cash that I just start giving it out. I make it rain.
Okay.
'Cause it just seems fun. How much should you plan for a trip? This is a
like
good
activity-wise?
question. If you're going on your first trip with someone and you're getting to know them,
Mm-hmm.
how much should you really plan? Like, you and I are not good planners,
No.
and we've been trying to become better planners.
Yes.
Because otherwise we sit there with nothing to do the whole trip.
Yes.
But I don't like having my whole trip booked.
I feel like you need to have at least 1 to 2 things planned a day.
A day?
And when I say planned, I mean like, okay, today we're going to for sure have breakfast at this place, and we want to check out this museum. And then the next day we have dinner reservations here,
Yeah.
and we plan on visiting these 2 sites or whatever.
Sometimes we haven't even made reservations, and then everything's booked.
Oh yeah, it's such a
and
cluster.
We're going to like a mall food court.
But I mean, I guess if you're a better planner, it would be nice to have like more set plans for food.
Yeah.
But sometimes it works out in our benefit.
No.
Sometimes.
No.
Okay. If
No.
I made a reservation every time, I'm like, because we've talked about this before, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, what time do you want to have dinner?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Do you want to have dinner at 6?
Yes.
You want to have dinner at 7?
It's too late for me.
You want to have dinner at 5?
By 7 o'clock, I have my eye thing on, and I'm my tired teddy, and I'm going to sleep.
But that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
No, yeah, that way it gives you more freedom.
It gives us
I
more
get you.
freedom because, like, what if we're like having fun doing whatever activity that we're doing, and we're like, screw it, we don't want to go to dinner at.
And then nowadays they charge you for missing
Yeah.
your reservations.
Or opposite, we're like, okay, I'm bored. Let's just go to dinner now. Let's get some drinks.
That was you and I were just talking this morning
Yes.
about Moab, and we kind of had like this weird lull before that night. And
Yes.
because we're on this lifestyle change diet, like we couldn't go sit at the bar like we usually would.
I know.
From 2 to say 6 when the event was.
Kids, get your iPads. We're
Right,
going to the
exactly.
brewery.
But we couldn't do that this time.
I know.
So we had to go find another activity.
So we had to sit at the pool, let our kids have fun.
Lame. How will you stay healthy while traveling? Like, that's something that you should talk about or plan ahead of time if you're worried about getting sick. I'm not even talking COVID. I'm just talking
I thought you meant like eating healthy or something.
No, because we went on the last trip and we were like, we just started our diet. We're going to do so well. High five. Yeah. And we brought even snacks. Like, okay, we'll have this for a snack. And then we looked up what breakfast we can have. And get by day number 2, that plan was so far out the window.
You did that.
I know.
You were more into that than I was. I did it and I had a smirk the entire time. As you were packing all of our snacks, I'm like, okay.
This is going to happen. I wanted to be good. But then here's what happened. We were on vacation.
That's just it. You're on vacation. We don't go on vacation every day. Now, this last weekend, we thought we were still on vacation.
We just kept it going. Let it ride.
But when you're on vacation, I want I don't want to be stressed out about like, oh, they don't have like the right kind of salad dressing. And, you know, like I just want to eat what I need to eat. I don't need to be ridiculous. We weren't ridiculous. We could have been way
knots.
We could have been way more ridiculous. I only had 2 garlic knots. I wanted way more. How about that?
Okay. Thanks for self-control. Didn't even answer. We didn't even get to the question. How do you stay healthy while traveling?
Stay healthy.
That was the
well, I know that you drink a lot of emergency when you're traveling.
Yeah, I mix emergency and vodka together on the
yes.
flights.
Oh my God, we have a real problem.
Listening back, I hear the problem now.
Yes.
I understand what's going on.
Okay.
You know, actually, before COVID, I would bring those wipes.
Oh, the wet wipes.
And we would like
the
wipe
wet
down.
one wipes that you then told me that you used to like wipe yourself down with, which I'm like, you should not do.
Yes.
It's like Clorox wipes.
Gives you a little bit of a whore's bath.
Okay, don't do that.
Just in
Okay.
No, never mind.
We also used to take zinc when we were traveling.
I know, but that stuff made me sick.
It does make me. You know, the new stuff I'm taking doesn't make me sick.
Oh, okay, so there's a better zinc out
Yeah.
there. Maybe we're just taking cheap zinc.
Maybe.
Or too much zinc. Who knows? Maybe it's zinc mixed with emergency mixed with vodka was the problem.
Yes.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think besides that, do you ever like, I ask you as if I don't know. Do you ever clean down or wipe down stuff at the hotel? You know, like we know people who travel a lot and they're like, oh, you need as soon as you get in the hotel room, wipe down the remote control and wipe down the glasses again because they reuse them and all that stuff.
First of all, I'm not using those glasses, so
Nowadays
I don't
they give you
need
the
to.
plastic cups.
Yeah. And also they put like the remote like in a plastic bag most of the time anyways.
I never did any of that.
No, I don't do any of that stuff.
I also have laid on top of the bed. They say you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I try not to do that.
They also say you shouldn't put your luggage on top of the bed, like a lot of people do to unpack it.
Why?
Because your luggage has been in the plane, it's been all around, it's dirty, and now you're putting it on your bed as you unpack.
I'm putting it on top of the bed that's already dirty. I don't sleep on top of that top part.
Well, all right, fine. You brushed me aside in such a way. I assume that's the Mucinex talking.
It is.
Oh, and here's the other. Will you pack any food, or are you planning on eating out every meal? That's a conversation you need to have before you travel.
Depends on your trip. It depends on your trip.
Well, like we were trying to plan a trip right now, and we were debating on, okay, how can we save money? I really do feel this way. If you can at least not pay for breakfast.
Yes, I agree with you on
Nothing
that.
angers me more than dropping $100 for some flapjacks and oatmeal.
Well, and like, I'm sorry, there's only so many ways you can have breakfast, and I love breakfast.
Yeah.
I could have breakfast, honestly, like for
much.
dinner. I love breakfast.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you go to the same restaurant usually, and it's like the same
Meal.
meal. Like,
You
how
were-
many days in a row can you have the same meal?
I don't know. You were getting frustrated at the hotel because they did like the free continental breakfast it was actually a warm breakfast.
Yeah.
And you're like over it. But they switched it up each day. Well, they switched one item up.
They switched one item up.
And then everything else was the same.
We had oatmeal.
I liked it.
It was free, so it was fine. But I will say that sometimes, especially when we're traveling with the kids, if there's a way, like when we went to Walt Disney World, we did it a couple times. We brought like oatmeal.
We brought instant oatmeal.
And that was great.
We made it in the room.
It really was great. And even though that wasn't like really our breakfast, it was just kind of like, especially with kids. I mean, the minute they open their eyes, they're like birds. They're like, "Meh, feed me." So it's like if you could bring some like dry cereal or some instant oatmeal, if they'll eat that, then just to like, you know, get you through until like 10 o'clock or whatever, and then you can have like
have a lunch,
a snack or something like that. I don't know.
My family, though, when we used to travel, we'd like.
You guys would like make sandwiches.
We were
stuff.
the family that like would bring a loaf of bread and make sandwiches out in the parking lot. If it was like at a Disneyland or it was a road trip, we'd stop at like the truck stop and make sandwiches. Yeah.
I mean,
and we wouldn't bring mayo and stuff because it would go bad.
So just like dry bread?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not just peanut butter and jelly?
That would have made more sense. I don't know. You've met my family.
Oh, well, they probably were like anti that.
Probably
I bet they were just like, no, meat.
Yeah. Yeah. Double meat.
Yeah.
Double bread. Double dryness.
Your dad just ate the meat.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. All right, that does it. Hopefully this helped you for your next trip. Thanks so much for listening. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to follow us on Instagram. Our last post, I don't know, it got huge.
I know. They loved that. It was a little dinosaur.
It was a tiny toy on a rock.
It scared the crap out of your daughter.
Well, we were hiking and running, and Ella and I were ahead, and we thought we saw like a lizard on a rock, and we got close to it, and then it was a dinosaur with teeth, and it scared us. in her defense.
Yes.
So check that photo out. We try so hard for photos, and then that's the one that gets so many likes.
I know.
But
why do we try?
Our Instagram's at Our Savings. Starts tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that. You're already in the app.
Yeah.
All you have to do is click that extra button.
While you're also there, rate us.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Give us a little 5-star.
Yeah.
You know what? Just like how we made a mistake and we didn't tip as well for the maids.
Do better than us.
Yeah. Give us a nice review, or just tell a friend.
Yeah, that would
casual
be nice.
conversation. Just bring it up naturally. So I don't know. Why don't we start a conversation here,
Okay.
and I'll show you how it's done. Okay. Yeah.
Hi. How's it going?
Oh, I got some bad news from the doctor today.
No. Have you listened to our savings starts tomorrow? Oh, were you going to do that part?
No,
I'm
that was
sorry.
perfect. No, that was good. Yes, exactly. Thanks for being compassionate, too. All right, that does it. A new episode next week. Bye-bye.